Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is the Petri dish coming to you fucking solo today, because guys, let me tell you, I'm fucking burnt out. Not on the Petri dish. I'm not quitting the podcast 2 weeks in again, but I just had a long week. Let's get into it. I had a long week getting sued by Bank of America for $15,000. Guys, pay the banks. They have all the power now. They'll get you. They'll fucking get you. I signed up for like a debt consolidation program, and everyone else was nice enough to play ball except for good old Bank of America. They were like, no, you owe us money. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. So I'm gonna be broke as fuck for a while, but also yeah, I'm real stressed out right now. If you thought I was stressed out planning for a wedding and fucking blowing eye vessels and quitting podcasts, boy, get ready for 2025. I guess that's a lot to throw into one sentence, considering I was not here in 2024 to explain to all of you lovely people what was going on. In 2024, like leading up to the wedding, I was already stressed out about all the debt shit that I was in, having to be a part of this debt consolidation program because I was unemployed for 6 months, and then fresh off being unemployed, I had to have that ass surgery, which is also lovingly captured in the past episodes. So they were already breathing down my neck when I was unemployed, and I was like, guys, there's no money. And so they understood then. But then afterwards, when I was a couple $1,000s in debt from that surgery, they were like, excuse me, you have money to pay these surgeons to keep you alive? How dare you? So Bank of America's coming for my new ass, is what I'm saying. I spent thousands of dollars to get a new asshole, and Bank of America fucking wants it. So yeah, that's my last week's update. I made a cool fucking segment, a new segment for my cool show that's very real and legitimate, Man or Bear. It was really cool. It was a hit all over Instagram. Guys, you're gonna get more, don't you worry. But first, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something today. I want to keep something going out every Tuesday to people so that, even when I'm not feeling it, the feed still stays live. Because I know, at least in my crazy ADD brain, or at least the way I live, which is very untraditional, I need consistency. When one of my dumb YouTube shows doesn't post a thing on the day I know they post shit, I get like anxious. I'm like, oh shit, there goes my whole day, which is dumb. And I get kind of the same feeling when I don't create myself. That's capitalism, but that's also me. I need to make things. I need to talk through things. And so this is it. This is the stuff. Today, I wanted to prep for more future talking, if you guys can believe it. This show is going to be so full of talking. And the talking I want to get into is the soup versus sauce debate. Yes, that's right. The one previously alluded to in many episodes by good old Jonathan Allgood. Where do you draw the line between soups and sauces? So, today, I'm going to put in some old clips because you're getting a clip show. Sorry. But I'm going to come in here and do some commentary every once in a while just to keep it fresh, just to let you know what's going on. So, we're going to get part 1 of the soups versus sauces debate. This was the very first time it was brought up. I believe this was back in my shitty little apartment. And I had good old Jonathan Allgood over because I had a shitty little apartment. I would just kind of call whoever and text whoever over the weekend being like, please, for the love of God, I have to make a podcast. And all the people that were nice enough to come on the podcast are the people that still are nice enough to come on my stupid podcast. So I frequently got Austin, frequently got Jonathan, especially back then, post-Nuclear Reno, I got good old Nick Jostin a lot before he was a roommate. So this, I believe this is still technically post-Nuclear Reno, talking just with Jonathan. And this is also Jonathan pre-falling out a window, so his brain's firing on all cylinders. Not all. He was still an alcoholic back then, but a fun alcoholic who drank Alfredo sauce, as you're about to hear. So we'll hear part 1, and then I'll give you a little more preamble for part 2. All right.
I mean, I don't appreciate all this exposition about soup because you're just not very soup cultured, apparently.
Not really.
Which is unfortunate.
Honestly.
You know,
what about Alfredo sauce? Like,
that's not soup. It's a sauce. It's in the name.
Yeah, but it could be like if you
if you
just had
cannot.
a bowl of Alfredo
That's so
sauce.
fucking gross.
It would be delicious, though, right?
No.
You just dip toast in it.
Fuck,
like,
you know what? Do whatever you want, I guess.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like pasta.
You're just gonna
boiled
straight
bread.
up drink Alfredo sauce.
Fuck yeah.
You're a serial killer. You know what? You're a serial killer.
But it has everything you want in it: heavy cream, butter, garlic, salt. It's a good vehicle for.
I mean, I'm not going to argue against Alfredo sauce being a good tasting sauce. I will argue against it being eaten plain as soup. You can't state your case. You know why? It's fucking gross.
Well, like if you get the Newman's Own in the can, the jar, and you microwave the shit out of it, you add a little water to it. Not only are you helping the world, making it a better place, contributing to charity, nonprofits, and shit, but you're having yourself a lovely Italian soup.
You're opening the floodgates to then just having people in the Midwest start making ranch soup or barbecue soup. One time I put barbecue sauce in a lentil soup. It was weird. Totally worked. Very smoky. But, yeah, I had Sweet Baby Ray's lentil soup. There's certain reasons. There's some things are just wrong, Jonathan.
But are they?
I don't know because like sour cream goes great in a baked potato soup.
Yeah.
You can't eat sour cream as soup.
You can eat sour cream with a spoon, though, right? You can just ladle it right in your mouth.
So are you trying to classify sour cream as pudding?
Yeah. Totally.
I don't like this. I don't like where this headed. It headed down a real dark path real quick.
Yeah, if you just took some cocoa powder and some sugar and just did like a state fair deep fried sour cream. Yeah. No, I'm thinking cream cheese right now.
Yeah.
My bad.
I'm so disgusted with you. Sour cream is much different. You cannot put cocoa powder and sugar on sour cream. I'm almost about to cancel this podcast because all I'm thinking is like you trying to freeze like a cup of Daisy sour cream so that you can roll it in cocoa powder and deep fry it.
It'd be like fried ice cream, right? You gotta hard freeze it first before you drop it in the fryer. Yeah. Okay, so maybe more like some, I don't know, like tortillas, those tortilla, like the strips. You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
But not a soup. Don't do this to me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
You know, I had real good soups recently. I went to Atlantis and had a lobster bisque in the steakhouse.
Ooh.
It was, it's not too heavy on the cognac, but it was there. It's very rich.
Kind of like a vermouth and a martini.
It was so good. I drank out of there real hard. I drank a soup real good and took some bread and I mopped it all out of there. And just
you didn't get it in a bread bowl?
No, but you know what I do like? Okay, so other casinos, Harrah's Steakhouse has a French onion soup that's creamy, and they serve it to you inside of an onion.
Ooh.
So like,
points for presentation.
So you just get this big ass onion.
Is it a bloomin' onion?
No, that would be fucking weird.
Next level.
The soup would go everywhere.
Yeah, but it'd still be awesome.
See, I think you're really not drawing a strong enough line between sauces and soup, which is why I think you're having the Alfredo sauce problem. Because if you just drizzle soup over a bloomin' onion, then the soup is just sauce. You can't use soup as sauce, and you can't eat sauce as soup.
I beg to differ. I just they're semi-liquidy foods. They're neither solid nor viscous. They are, whatever.
Yeah, you're not making a very good case for yourself.
Okay,
and now the whole world is going to know about your secret Alfredo soup thing. It's in
not
the public sphere now.
That's fine. It should be. You know, where it
So
belongs. Just think what the Olive Garden could do with that.
No,
if they turned all of their
unlimited soup, but it's just Alfredo sauce. Fuck, you just fuck right off. That's so gross.
Indeed, what could Olive Garden do with the concept of Alfredo soup? Boy, what did we cover? Sour cream as pudding. I know Jonathan retracted his statements because he was thinking of cream cheese, but he was really into the idea of sour cream as some sort of deep fried. And you know what? Just because he's not here right now, and he'll have to talk about it later, and he might forget, who knows. But just to add to his argument a little bit, I know I have my own strong stances against Alfredo soup, but just to play devil's advocate slightly, Jonathan is the devil. Sour cream makes New York cheesecake. You know what I mean? That sour cream on top. So sour cream in a sweet realm isn't crazy. Sometimes for comedy, you heighten things, you know, just for comedic effect. And I don't think sour cream is that crazy in dessert applications. Because I've had a few sins as far as food goes. And one southern sin that I kind of stand by is Velveeta fudge. I know it's a big brick of fake cheese with a bunch of cocoa powder and powdered sugar in it. But something about the consistency and the pungency works just fine with cheese and sugar. You know what I mean? I only say this to discredit my past self as we go into part 2 of Soup versus Sauces, because I really come out swinging against Alfredo soup for part 2, and I don't want to say I'm wrong. I refuse to believe I'm wrong, based purely on faith, as you'll see in this next clip. But we add my good friend Brian Hoffman. Brian James Hoffman is a musician from South Dakota, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. So he had some things to say about soups versus sauces, which I still don't agree with. And of course we had Austin in the mix, because I like having Austin in the mix, because every once in a while he'll back me up. This time, I don't think he's got a dog in the fight on Soup versus Sauces. I think he just likes to see me get mad. So we're going to solve all of this eventually. We'll solve all the Soup versus Sauce stuff eventually, but here's the part 2, because this is ending up more of a study guide for the next big debate, Soup versus Sauce 3. So prepare yourself, guys. Here is part 2.
The continuing debate that has been happening across bars all over Reno.
You look really sure of yourself, Jonathan.
Soups and sauces. I still currently believe that there should be a distinction between the two. You got to blur the lines.
I think it's viscosity.
But then you run into things like au jus, which is a dipping sauce.
It's basically a stock.
Look at miso. Look at miso. I had miso yesterday. Miso is the same consistency as au jus, so I get what you're saying.
Brown water. Its consistency is brown water.
Miso's a soup. Au jus is the dipping sauce. But let's say you toss like a fucking onion in au jus, it's gonna be just like fucking shitty French onion soup.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
So, I think that I don't know. Because then you have like creamy, like a chowder, you know, and like that's like
you can chowder
thick,
anything.
You can.
You
I mean,
can.
I had
Free-form chowder.
No, nothing. I got nothing. My dad makes corn chowder.
Okay.
You can chowder the corn.
I've had that before, yeah.
That's all I got. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not funny. It's not anything. It's just my dad makes corn chowder sometimes.
I'm glad you brought up
that's something-
chowders.
Yeah,
because-
chowders are another in between.
Yeah, well, because I also didn't add them to my my evolutionary tree. I'm going deeper than what you guys are going to be talking about. You guys are debating like where the line is. I'm trying to find the common ancestor here. Because I feel like at some point soups and sauces were once the same, but then they deviated off on separate paths, and I'm just trying to like.
He's got a whole family tree of sauces and
label where
condiments.
they go.
He makes a very valid point. Okay, let's say you start off. Okay, we're talking like medieval times. Okay, fucking gruel. I mean, that's like way older than gruel.
That's
Okay, so you have
prison
the stuff, you're boiling stuff, and they drink the water off the meat that these fucking rich fuckers eat, right?
Yeah.
So they have that, but then they finally have some bread. Okay, so we have the soup, but then we have some bread and a few other things. Like, hey, we can put some of this soup on here, but hey, the soup's a bit too watery, so we thicken it up, and then that's how you make a sauce. You know what I'm saying?
So this
I
is
think,
like divergent soup
Exactly.
sauce theory.
I mean, that's not my theory. I'm just kind of going off the.
I'm still coming from a purely faith-based. Sauces and soups have only existed for 100 years.
Intelligent.
I've been looking at the same facts and figures of everyone else.
100 years? What? There were dinosaurs here in 1960?
We've
What are
only
you talking about,
the
man?
world's only existed for 5,000 years. Soups and sauces haven't been around that
existed
long.
for way longer than 100 years.
I don't know. There's no proof.
There was no evolution.
Yeah,
between
show
soups
me
and
in
sauces.
English where it says that.
It's part of the fossil record. It's dinosaur farts. It's oil now. That's
Yeah, exactly. Do you think they didn't have
Boom.
gravy in the 1800s?
I don't even know what that is. The 1800s or gravy. All I know is that I like sauce and soup.
Okay, back to
They are
the
separate.
original argument was Alfredo sauce.
Alfredo
okay?
sauce.
So
It's not
Alfredo
soup.
sauce versus being a soup. I tend to side with Bobby on this because yes, it's a
You
sauce.
can't.
But
Just
let's say
because you
just-
picked the wrong side,
you fuck with
you're
it
still
just
wrong.
a little bit. You put some peppers in it or something like that, and like it can pass off as an Italian soup, like Jonathan said.
No! Don't
It
do
can.
this to me!
Oh man, is this a backstab on you? Is it a heel turn?
I refuse to let Alfredo sauce be soup.
totally.
With few modifications, it can be a soup. You could very easily just put a bowl of that in front of somebody, and they'd be like, "Okay, this is kind of like a bad soup, but it's still a soup."
It could be a garlic
Like-
chowder.
garlic chowder. That's Alfredo sauce is garlic chowder.
That's it. I'm looking up an Alfredo sauce recipe right now so that I can find the reason that it cannot be a soup. And I think it has to do.
You won't
okay.
find it. If you're looking like in a difference of ingredients, it's going to be really, really hard.
Okay, here's where it is. Okay, it's a sauce because it doesn't have its own. It doesn't start with like a roux or anything or any baseline thing. It's heavy cream, it's butter, thickened by cheese, technically Parmesan cheese, but that's not a
still
soup
a
base.
thickening.
That's not a
When
soup
there's
base.
a thickening, there's a
Thickening
soup.
would involve
When there's
some
a
sort
thickening.
of binding agent like a flour to make a roux or
Parmesan.
cornstarch.
You think you don't use flour and fucking stew, man?
You can, yeah, but you use the starch in potatoes or something to then
Anytime you fuck stew, you use flour.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
He likes it. It's kind of like it's powdery and just kind of, I don't know. It's a thing. We really haven't been. We've been kind of on the rocks lately.
I never wrote stew on this list either. So I gotta.
Stew is involved.
I feel like that either happened too fast or I.
But you see,
timed it
it's
wrong.
like a gumbo. It's not saucy, like it is a watery base. It's a broth base, but it is a brick
But it's a-
roux.
But it's a soup though.
You start
People
with a
eat
brick
it. I
roux,
eat it like
right?
a soup.
Exactly.
I just don't understand why you
and I
keep
do are
saying
the same
thickening.
consistency. So it's a very fine. It's a blurry line. It's a thin red line.
yeah.
Why are you bringing Robin Thicke into this?
Yeah, the Robin Thicke defense, the blurred lines.
That's,
Exactly.
That's not acceptable.
I don't accept. I don't accept. The lines are not blurred.
Does that make me crazy?
That's a different song, I think.
Yeah.
Sound very
What's the
Completely
reference there?
different.
Damn it. It's like shit.
I was thinking the song's crazy.
Yeah, like the
what the hell's
Gnarls
the name
Barkley
of the
song.
band?
Okay, but like
Freaking CeeLo Green, whatever.
like fucking I might have just fucked my own argument. Hold on. Now I got to look up bechamel sauce.
What is?
Dude,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the four sauces of French cooking.
It's the mother it's one of the mother sauces, correct.
Okay, that's what I want.
Now that is made with a roux by cooking the tablespoons of flour in the butter, and then you add the milk, and that's just a simple sauce. It's not a soup though. It's a mother sauce. Some things like
Well, what makes it? Why is it a sauce? Because it has milk in it.
Garlic chowder is Alfredo sauce.
Garlic chowder. Yum, yum, yum.
Garlic chowder, where the winds go sweeping down the plain.
I feel like I feel like it's the I don't know. Maybe I messed up my own argument
What was your
because the
argument?
mother sauces all start
be
with some
anything.
sort of like roux or a straight up like juice, you know?
Okay, but really, okay, like, I mean, let's say we're looking at like just a traditional like chicken and noodle, okay, thing like that. Okay, you have broth. You just boil the chicken, you have the broth that comes off of it, you put some vegetables. Let's say it's like, some mirepoix, which is, celery, carrots, onions. Okay, so you got that in there. You got your chicken, and then you put either dumplings or noodles in there. Okay, so you have like a broth. It's really thin. It's really whatever. That's soupy, and soupy tends to be more watery. But when you get towards like a let's say potato soup, okay, it's a little thicker, almost the same thickness as, let's say, a famous Italian sauce called Alfredo sauce. You could have like Italian potato soup that's basically just it's fucking Alfredo sauce and potatoes, and it'd be the same consistency as potato soup.
I refuse.
So you have cream soup and you have broth soup, and cream soup is so similar to Alfredo sauce that I think that I can't, I want to be on your side, but I think that Jonathan has a very good point.
It'd be like New England garlic chowder.
No,
Yeah.
chowder is
New
not
England
made
garlic
with...
chowder, yeah.
No, that's too much. It's just cream, butter, and cheese. You
I
can't
made
just
dumplings
toss clams
the
in
other
there.
day.
Yes, you can. You can toss a clam in anything.
A chowder is usually made...
I mean, what is a
From-
chowder if just more sauce than there are
It's a
clams?
blended soup. So you make all the ingredients, and then you blend it all into one homogeneous chowder. You can have chunks in there, I guess.
Have you looked up Alfredo based soups? Because I'm pretty sure they exist.
I don't believe they exist.
Ew.
I don't believe in their existence, and this is what I think. That's what I think of that.
Just trying to find ways to work it in.
Let's see. Alfredo based soups. Noodles at Amazon.com.
Yeah, Alfredo-based soups.
Fettuccine Alfredo soup is a thing that exists. There's an Alfredo soup recipe right here. Okay, it's got garlic, onion, fucking loading. God damn it.
I refuse.
Okay.
That is just some dumb, bad white lady who couldn't cook fettuccine Alfredo properly, made it watery as fuck, and just told her dumbass husband, who's tired after work, sorry to be so heteronormative, other listeners that aren't
she cooks
men
with
between the
cherry
ages of
and egg
18 to
yolks.
35.
Definitely.
But she just fucked up making a sauce and was like, it's soup. Like when someone can't make macaroni and cheese correctly.
Dude, you can't just use the Karen defense every time you hear an interesting recipe, okay?
I can, because I've ran into too many Karens in the Midwest. So, I sprinkled ranch sauce on pork loin because I don't know how to season properly.
Yeah.
That's not a recipe. It's just called not knowing what salt and pepper is.
If Karen made soup, she makes soup, okay? And it's a soup.
And
It's
since
Alfredo soup.
And since I know that you are of Midwest descent now, I also have to shit on tater tot hot dish because it is bullshit.
Hot
Knock,
dish. Tater tot hot
knock.
dish.
I want what?
Who's there?
Tater
Fuck
tot
you,
hot.
Bobby.
Boy, I really came out swinging against tater tot hot dish, didn't I? Sorry, Brian. Anyway, I'm re-recording this part because I was just about to record it, and then I got a call from my medicine company fucking me over again. But that'll be for a different episode. That's another thing that's been getting me over the past couple weeks is I've got the skin disease hidradenitis suppurativa. I was medicated for it very briefly last year, and I've been getting jerked around by insurance or the pharmacy or my doctor for the last 8 months. It's costed me hundreds of dollars in trips, hours on the phone with random assholes, and now I'm just fucking pissed off again in the middle of trying to make this fun podcast. So, thanks for listening, guys. If you made it all the way this far, we are going to get into part 3 of Soup versus Sauces as soon as I can fucking sort out my goddamn life. So, thanks again for listening to this inane babble. Where do you stand on Soup versus Sauces? I brought up a lot of shit. We went into the evolutionary chowder. I believe we may have touched on cereal for a second. If not, that'll get brought up. The divergent soup sauce theory. Maybe they've never been separated in history. Who knows? The Earth is only 5,000 years old. As I said, with no irony in my voice, and then we all just kept rolling. I believe it's a joke, guys. I believe in dinosaurs. I don't think humans rode the dinosaurs. I don't think the Earth is 5,000 years old. I do believe there are 4 mother sauces, though, if you look into French cuisine. But I also don't like centering things around French cuisine, because it's a little bit of a colonial mindset, which I'm trying to escape from. So, I guess I'll just say thanks again. Thanks again for being here. I'm gonna fucking I'm just gonna make a bunch of phone calls and be pissed off for the rest of the day. Thanks, guys. There's like an inner sinus just above your butthole that exists near your tailbone. left. They scooped it out with a melon baller, and now I got 2 buttholes.
The microphone's in the way.
Gross. You can kind of see it. It kind of just looks like you stuffed up your crack
Microphone's kind of in the way.
with wads of teepee.
Yeah.
Which I kind of assumed how you always wiped. It's just you stuffed it all down there.
It's just a chute. I just keep cramming toilet paper down my butt crack, and it eventually just comes back out the bottom.
It's like trying to plug up a nosebleed.
Nah.